Alright, welcome to Guitar Level 1. If you've already done Bass Level 1, some of this will be a little bit of a review, but we'll start from the beginning just in case. So what we're going to do from Guitar 1 is we're just going to play the string closest to you, which is the 6th string. Okay? If I play that string open, that means my left hand's not touching anything. That's an E, so we're going to call this the E string. Now before we play some chords, you want to make sure that you're holding your guitar correctly. So the lowest string should be closest to you, the thickest string, okay? If it's not, you have it upside down. Your neck you want pointed a bit in a straight line, so you don't want it at any kind of weird angle. It should just be nice and straight. And then in the back, I'll try and show you here, my wrist and my thumb should be straight, kind of like a thumbs up, okay? You don't want your thumb pointing in either direction or off the neck. You want to keep it on the neck and straight. That way when we move up and down, if you can see, my wrist should be as straight as possible. Okay, and that's important because that's less tension on your wrist. If your wrist is at any kind of weird angle, that's going to potentially hurt your wrist a little bit more and make things more difficult, especially in the long run, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to try and think just like piano. Hopefully you've done Tier 1 by now. But you're going to think a fret instead of a key, okay? So on piano, like if it was on an E, my next key would be F. And then my next key would be F sharp or G flat, which is a black key, and then my next key would be G, and so on. So you travel by half steps on a key. Guitar is the same principle, but you have frets. So if you can see, every time, I'll scoot in a little bit, every time you see a box, that's a fret. So 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, and so on. And every time I go to the right, you can hear it gets higher. Same idea on piano, right? If I go to my right, it should get higher. If I go to my left, it's going to get lower. So using that knowledge, I'm going to do two things. First, I'm just going to play with one finger to show you that. And again, if you've done bass, this is the same thing. It will just feel a little bit different. And you should also be using a pick as well. And then we're going to add what's called a power chord. So if I just go one at a time, I should have E. My first fret or first box should be F. Okay, and that's what it should sound like if you press down all the way. If you're not pressing down quite hard enough, you might get that kind of sound, or if you're not in the right place. So if I zoom in here, here's my first fret. I always want to find the fret and then go kind of towards the edge on the right. That's going to give me the best sound. If I'm back here, it's going to tend to buzz a little bit more. So I want to be right around here. So this would be F. My next note's F sharp or G flat. Now notice here, I'm moving these fingers down just so you can see me better, but when you play, they should just be relaxed like this. So it should look like this, but I'm just doing this just so you can see my finger better, okay? So now my next fret is a G. Notice there's a dot, okay? This guitar actually doesn't have a dot on the 3rd fret, it does on the side, but most guitars will, okay? So if you memorize those dots, it's gonna make things easier as well. So this is G. I go up a half step, this would be G sharp or A flat. I go up a half step, that's A. That's on most guitars, that will be your 2nd dot. Again, you should be able to see the dot on the sides here and on the actual fretboard. Next would be A sharp or B flat, followed by B. Most guitars have the 3rd dot. My guitar happens to have a double dot there. Most won't. Okay. Next is C. Next is C sharp or D flat. Next is D. Next would be D sharp or E flat. And lastly, we should have E. So open is E, and your double dot's E. Again, most guitars you won't have a double dot here. Some do. But for most of you, your only double dot will be on the 12th fret, and that's an E. So that's an octave. So it starts over. Now you can keep going, E, F, F sharp, G. But typically you won't play much past here where the guitar cuts off. So mostly we're going to try and stay in the first 12 frets, okay? So now what we're going to do is going to add one more thing. On bass we just did one note for a chord, okay? And on guitar we're going to do a power chord. And power chords are nice because they're a little bit easier than a full major or minor chord. They sound a little bit better, and because it's a root and a fifth, it actually can be major or minor. So we can play through all these songs on the Billboard with a power chord, and it will work for major and minor chord, okay? So the first power chord, we're going to play open, and then 2nd fret on the next string. So I'm on 2 different strings, and now with my pick, I should be hitting 2 strings. Okay? If it's in tune, it should sound something like that. Right? So now what happens is if I go to F, now my other finger has to be, it's always 2 to the right, next string. Okay? So here's F, I go 2 to the right, 1, 2, next string. So I'm going to keep this shape, right? And again, relax your other fingers. I'm just moving them out of the way so you can see them, but your other fingers can just relax. So this would be F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, E, C, C sharp or D flat, D sharp or E flat, and then E. So nice with power chords. Now I can play any chord, right? All 12 chromatic tones. And on the whatever billboard you decide for Guitar 1, you do a power chord for everything. So if it's A major, A minor, G minor, whatever your chord is, you're just going to move that power chord all along. Right? And play whatever your song is. So that's it for Guitar 1. We're doing power chords on the 6th string. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.